Hello traders, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about blind spot mastery. All right, but before I get started, what is actually a blind spot? Let me recap. A blind spot is an engulfing candle, either bearish engulfing candle or bullish engulfing candle made by a significant break by price. All right, so how do we trade blind spot in a real life market? To know the concept of a blind spot is simple as easy, right? But sometimes it is not that simple to trade in a live market, because the reason why we call this setup a blind spot, it does not have a specific point where price comes to react. So blind spot is not like Quasimodo reversal, when we know that price is just coming to react from the left shoulder, or yes, from the left shoulder, right? So how do we mark the blind spot properly so that we won't miss an entry? So that is why I call it blind spot mastery. So that for you guys to know how to mark a blind spot in a real life market, so that when you set your pending order or when you are expecting price to come there, then you buy or you sell, as the case may be. All right, because most of the time, when I started this setup, I started trading this setup at the first time. I set my pending order. Sometime price will come close to my pending and price will start shooting up or shooting down, as the case may be. And sometimes price will just pick my pending order. So blind spot does not have a specific point where market comes to react, just like a Quasimodo reversal and other setup, right? So how do we mark blind spot properly for us not to miss our entry? Okay, so for us not to miss our entry, so let's look at example of a blind spot. Okay, we have one here. I said our blind spot is a bearish engulfing or bullish engulfing candle made by a significant break by price. All right, so if you look at this structure here, we have a blind spot. Can you spot it, guys? Can you spot it? Let me give you like 1 second to spot it. I hope you can spot blind spots. Yeah, this is a blind spot. This is a bearish engulfing candle made by, let me pick this pen. This is a bearish engulfing candle made by what? Made by this significant break by price. So when this happens on the chart, it is an opportunity for us to look for buy, because when blind spot happen, it shows the strength of buyers. Like in this case, is the bearish engulfing made by significant break. So this shows the strength of the buyers in the market. This tells us that buyers are into the market. We should become what? Buyers as well. We should become buyers. So look at also this bearish engulfing, this area represents the supply area here. This is where we expect more supplies to be here, that when price come back to this area, price is going to push down, right? But price come there and break that area significantly. So blind spot mark the point at which buyers completely at wedge or completely defeated the sellers in the market. So in this wise, how are you going to mark this blind spot, right? So sometimes you mark, this is the wick of the bearish engulfing. Also this opposing candle. So this is the wick of the bearish engulfing. So like Quasimodo, we always mark our left shoulder. So in this case, you can mark here, you pick your line and mark at the body of the bearish engulfing candle, right? There are some blind spots that the bearish engulfing or the bullish engulfing will not have a wick, or will have just a small wick or shadow, right? So if you mark here at the body of this candle, at the body of this bearish engulfing candle, and wait for price, because when you mark here, this line will become our line, our entry point, where we use, either we set a pending order or we wait for price to come to that point, then we start buying, right? But sometimes when you mark your line like this and then you draw your box, right? You draw your box. When you mark and draw your box, price will come. Let me show you. Price is going to come like this, and then price is going to kiss. Maybe is coming to kiss this wick here. It's not coming to touch your pending order here, because this line you put here, you mark here, is where you are going to put your pending order. You mark at the body, you put your line at the body of the bearish engulfing candle that was break significantly, right? So price sometimes will not come there. Sometimes price will come there. That is why I said it is called a blind spot, because it does not have a specific entry point where we want to buy. So that is why you have to be, active when trading a blind spot. If not, you are going to be missing a lot of opportunity. Maybe you set a pending order, you come back, you see price has come close to your pending and start shooting up or start shooting down, as the case may be. So that is why I want you to understand the concept of blind spot mastery, so that for you to be able to take every opportunity without missing. All right. So, like in this case now, price come touch where we put our price order here, where we just mark from the body price. When price come, kiss, and then price start shooting up. But sometimes price will come, remain here, and then start shooting up. So in this case, this is the proper way to mark a blind spot. All right. So let me delete this one. So if you want to mark a blind spot properly, you come to the last bearish engulfing, this bearish engulfing candle that was break significantly. You put your line at the body of the candle, then you pick another line at the wick of the candle, right? You put it at the wick of the candle here. So when you put it at the wick of the candle, this becomes what? This becomes your zone, right? This becomes your zone. The whole of this one, you put your line here and your line at the shadow, the end of the shadow. So this becomes what? This becomes your zone. So whenever the market, if you are waiting for this blind spot, whenever the market come to this area, whenever the market touch the upper line, the moment the market touch the upper line, you start looking for entry, right? Or with the moment the market enter this your zone, this entire zone becomes your zone of probability. This becomes, your buy territory, right? Where you want price to just come, even without price getting to this upper line we put. I mean, this lower line we put within this zone, you are going to start looking for buying opportunity. So this one is based on, if you are waiting for price, you are waiting on your chart for price to come to your zone. But what if you want to set a pending order? You don't have time, you want to set a pending order. If you are setting a pending order, the best way to set your pending order when it comes to blind spot is to, when you see a shadow, you see a shadow here, right? You mark this first line you mark. This first line you mark is where you are going to use as your entry point. All right, let me show you. So this one, the one that we mark from the shadow, right? From the end of the shadow is where you are going to use as your entry, your pending order price to set, so that in case when price come on the chart and fails to get to the body of the candle, fails to push up to the body of the bearish engulfing candle, then price will still pick your order. Also, when price pick your order, and price push up to this body candle before shooting up, you still have nothing, just little drawdown before the market will start going in your favor, right? But if you are putting your pending order always at the body of this candle that was break significantly, you see that price will come and kiss the shadow of this candle and then keep and start shooting up. So if you want to set your pending order, always mark from when you put your line from the end of the shadow to the body of the candle, use the line that you mark from the end of the shadow as your price, as your entering price to set your pending order. All right. I hope I'm making sense, guys. If I'm making sense to you on this Blind Spot Mastery, make sure, if you haven't subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like the video, and then you can share to your friends. All right. We trade price action. I'm a price action sharpshooter. All right. So let's continue. So I'm going to show you another example. So this is how to actually mark blind spot zones, right? If you are always a type of trader that you are always on the chart, you just mark your zone. You wait for price to come here. Whenever you price come here and touch your upper line where the end of the shadow of the bearish engulfing ends, then you start looking for buying. You understand? So if you also want to set your pending order, always use this one. And then let's see our risk reward ratio on this particular setup. This would have been like 2%. Maybe if you set on the upper one, we'll have like 2%, right? So we're gonna have like 2% here. So our risk to reward ratio is going to be like, so where is your stop loss going to be? So don't be this type of trader that you always put tight or close stop loss. You know, if you sometimes you are putting your stop loss too close, price will hit you out and then start going in your favor. So at least our stop loss should be here in such a way that when price is pushing down, we know that, okay, this blind spot is not going to hold. When price hits you out, we know that the blind spot price disrespect our setup, right? So this is where you are putting your pending. So you are coming out with a ratio 1:2. The risk to reward is 2%, right? Which is fair. So if you are targeting the lower line here, I think here also our is still 2. Okay, yeah, we can adjust it. Yeah, you can have 3% on this. If the price comes to this lower zone, that is to say, if you're a type of trader that you always on the chart, you wait for price to enter this your blind spot zone that you have marked, then you start attacking the market, right? But if you want to set a pending order and you want to go off the chart, always mark from the shadow, put your line at the end of the shadow, then use that line as your price to set your pending order. All right, so let's look at another example. Let's look at gold. Let's make this video quick. Just Blindspot Mastery, nothing else, so that you'll be able to know how to capitalize on blind spot opportunities. Blind spot are everywhere, guys. Blind spot are everywhere. So let's see if we can find another one. Okay. Okay, let's look at this blind spot here. Guys, let's look at this blind spot. So this is what? This is a bearish engulfing. This setup are just price action setup on the chart that happens every week, right? So this is a bearish engulfing candle. This is a bearish engulfing candle then made by this significant break. You see this one, break this area here, this point, significantly. Look at this candle, break significantly. So when this happened, it is, and what does that mean? It's telling us that buyer, because initially the market was in a downtrend, and then the market was trying to range here, form a kind of double top. Then we see this bearish engulfing. Then all of a sudden, price push up and break this point here, this bearish engulfing, significantly up. What does that tell you? It tells us that enough buyers are into the market, then we should be looking for buying opportunities. If it happen in a sell situation, we know that more sellers are into the market, then we should be looking for what selling opportunity. So this setup I've been teaching have their psychological meaning, right? When you said you're a price action trader, then you understand the psychology of the market. All right. So let's look at it. How do we mark so that we can take opportunity? So first of all, we pick our line. You look at this one, the shadow is not that big, right? So we put our line at the body of the candle. So you see this body of the candle we put, look at how price, let me pick my pen. Look at how price come, price will not touch here. So if maybe you want to set a pending order, for instance, so this set of guys, it behaves the same in all time frames. So even if you find this setup a blind spot on M15 time frame, sometimes it will touch where you put your line at the body candle, right? Or sometimes it will remain at the shadow. It will remain at the shadow, then it started reacting up. So that is why if you are using a pending order, always put your line at the shadow of the bearish engulfing or the bullish engulfing candle, as the case may be, and use that price line as your what? As your price to set your pending order, so that when price come and fails to touch the body before shooting up, it's always going to react from the shadow. If it's not coming to the body, it's going to react from the shadow. Then the market will definitely pick your pending order. So imagine you use this price line here and then set your pending order. Price comes so close. You see what I'm telling you, right? This is what we call blind spot mastery. All right, how to trade blind spot in a real life market, because the setup is simple, but most of the time you will miss opportunities. All right, so let's mark our upper zone. Let's mark our upper zone here. So we mark, which one is upper zone, guys? I'm sorry for that. Let's mark the wick, the shadow of the candle. So the end of the shadow. So this is the end of the shadow, right? Yeah, this is the end of the shadow. So you see, if you use the price line, this price line now to mark, to put your pending order, price come then kiss, pick your pending and started shooting up. So this whole zone will becomes what? Our blind spots. This is how we mark blind spot properly. So this is how we mark blind spot properly, guys. We know that within this zone, it is our zone of probability, is a zone we expect to buy when price make mistake to return to pick the blind spot. So guys, this is how to buy or how to mark a blind spot properly and take opportunities, all right? And also how to set a pending order if you want to use pending order on your blind spot, because blind spot does not have a specific point. Sometimes it come to the body, react to the body candle, even below before shooting up. Sometimes it kills the shadow and then start shooting up. So in order not to miss your entry on blind spot, that is why I decided to drop this video for you guys to really master blind spots in a real life market for you to be able to cash every opportunity. So let me show you last example. Let's look at one example before we go. Blind spots are everywhere on the chart, guys. So I'm going to delete this one. Let me delete this one. Okay. Okay. Blind spots are everywhere, guys. Blind spots are everywhere, guys. So let's look at this one. This example here. Look at this one. We also call this blind spot. See this one, this is a bearish engulfing candle. Let me pick my pen. This is a bearish engulfing candle. So this bearish engulfing candle was made by this significant break. Look at this significant break that break this engulfing candle. Guys, if you are getting value in this video, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, right? So, but this bearish engulfing, look at the wick. The wick is too small, right? The wick is too small, but the opposing candle here has a wick here, has a wick. So how are we going to mark this particular one? So this is how I'm going to mark it. So we put our line at the body candle of the bearish engulfing. So you see, when you put this line here, price will not touch, always almost close there. They're also going to put our line at the opposing candle that has a wick here, right? So the whole of this zone becomes our zone of probability to react, our territory, right? So to buy this blind spot actually. So we made a lot of pips on this guy as of that time. So here, this is how to mark it. So even if you want to set a pending order by using the shadow, the line from the shadow, price will still peak, and then you'll be in little drawdown before price will finally put you into profit. So this is how to capitalize on blind spot opportunity. Okay, so let's get to the last one before I end this video, guys. I don't want this video to be too long because it's straight up, right? Blind spot is everywhere, and when you follow my instruction, you'll be able to catch every opportunity. So let's look at this one. This is bullish engulfing, right? This is a bullish engulfing and then made by this significant break. Price just break this guy significantly down. So when this happen, you should be able to see as a great opportunity for you to make money. All right. So how do we mark this blind spot, guys? So I'm going to put my line here. You see this body candle, this bullish engulfing does not even have a wick. All right. So we put our line there. This opposing candle, before this bullish engulfing has a wick. So we mark the wick there, here. So when we mark this wick, the whole of this zone becomes our zone of what? Our zone of probability or our territory for us to react. Look at how price come to this area here. Even though you set a pending order or you wait for price to enter your zone, then you start looking for entry to start shooting. So it's still the same thing, right? So in this zone, price come the first time we sell, right? We sell and make over 100 and something pips from this point to this point here, right? Then price return another day for another entry. Again, we strike back down. So this is how to get mastery on trading blind spot setup, guys. So like I always say, explanation when it comes to Forex video or Forex teachings is always easy, right? But when it comes to the practical aspect of it, when you try to come to the practical aspect of it in the real life market, it's not as easy as you can watch on the video, as you can see. So everything is all about practice, right? It's all about dedication. It's all about devotion. It's all about you being devoted your time to really practice, to really look at these things I'm trying to show you, right? Which is why I always said that without devotion, there is no transformation. No matter what you are devoted to, it is the quality of your devotion which will transform you, guys. So thank you for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.